Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to our Get Snatched Self-Esteem workshop series. So, today we are going to talk about the four energies that you find in various things that happen to us and what impact that has on our self-esteem. Now, hopefully, you've watched the other workshops, and what I do is today we'll discuss this particular topic, and at the end of the session I'm going to give you a homework. So basically that will be a DivaTude exercise that you should complete before we start the next session, and then the next session I'll discuss that one. So we're always getting at the tail end of every session the homework for the next one, so we'll be ready to discuss what how our self-esteem is being impacted and what we can do to improve it. Now, we all know your self-esteem has a lot to do with the choices that you make in your life and really how you live your life. Basically, if is we talked about in the last session, either you're gonna be a diva or you're gonna be a victim. Okay, and we all have varying degrees of each in all of us. However, some of us gonna lean more toward the diva part, some of us are gonna lean more toward the victim, but we all have a little bit of both. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is for us to see what those characteristics are and how we can work to better improve our self-esteem, which then means we're going to behave in a better way, which then means we're going to make better choices and live our best life. Now, the DivaTude exercise 3 that we were supposed to complete today was the four energies of experience. So let me explain those four. The first is spiritual, and that really, who is your inner self? Like, what guides you? What are the things that keep you going? For many, it could be a religious thing. It could be just a spiritual feeling that you get. A lot of times they say that little voice we hear sometimes is our ancestors talking to us. You know, that little voice, that little thing like, don't do that. And if I don't know about y'all, but every time you don't listen to it, you get in trouble every time. That's why I am very obedient. When I hear that little voice in my head, I do what it says, because it's never failed me yet. I remember one time I was driving to work and I had my tags for my car in the car. I hadn't put them on yet, and one mind, as they say, one mind said, don't go the usual way to go to work, go another way. And I'm like, what has that got to do with the parasitic in China? So I went ahead, went my normal way. Police pulled me over about not having tags. I'm like, sir, I hear they are, I have them, I just haven't put them on the license plate yet. Got a ticket anyway. Now see, if I had followed that first line, I probably wouldn't have got that ticket, right? So that's spiritual. That's that feeling that we get within ourselves that guides us and really connects us to other people as well. But we'll get to that in another workshop. The next one would be mental, what we know and what we understand. Now, mentally, a lot of times we know stuff, you know, we understand what's happening, whatever, but does that mean we do what's right according to that mental belief? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Okay, let's just look at, say, a relationship. Okay, mentally we can know it means a certain thing in our life, but emotionally, which is the next one, we do something else. Okay, so that brings me to the emotional energy, how we feel. Many of us know we may think and know a certain thing, but we feel another way, and sometimes our heart wins out over our head, and 9 times out of 10 again you end up on the wrong side of something. Okay, the next energy is physical. What we do. What is our action? What do we physically do in a certain situation? And it has an energy. So those are the 4 energies that I want you all to take a look at. And in the exercise, then the next thing is we were supposed to take a positive, okay, a positive experience that we had and apply all those energies to that experience and break it down. So a positive energy that I wanted to talk about that I could think of right away was I won an award for a web series that I wrote, produced, directed. Okay. Wow. I felt like, okay, spiritually, I was like, whew, my inner thing. I had always wanted to write. I always wanted to see one of my productions, come to life, jump off the page, do what it had to do. So that was the spiritual aspect of that, of how I was able to create a living thing. The next part of that was mental. Mentally, what I knew is I knew I wanted to write a story that I could put into film that actually expressed how I was feeling about a certain thing. So mentally, I was able to use my writing abilities to create, basically. Emotionally, it was a beautiful thing because I really felt validated. It's a good feeling, one, to create something and to see it come alive on the screen. That's a high in and of itself. But then also emotionally, to feel validated, to feel that all that work that I had done was recognized by someone else and I was given accolades for it, made it even better. Okay, it was a great feeling. Finally, physically, great feeling. The action of what I did. I mean, I did everything. From lighting to cooking to everything. This production, physically, I took part in every aspect of it, and it was a great feeling. So the next question on the questionnaire says, was your self-esteem high? Okay, yes. I think to be able to create, to be able to make something happen, to be able to kind of like live your dream of something that you want to do, your self-esteem is very high because you are using every aspect of yourself, like these 4 energies. Anytime you use all 4 in conjunction with whatever you're doing, obviously your self-esteem gets very high because you are creating, you're making something happen. And this also happens with business. I love business. That's why I love to help other people to build their businesses, to do things that will help them create and live and do what their dreams are. And what's the byproduct? Making some money is a nice thing. So you can make it rain, you're gonna have some self-esteem. Okay, so that's what's important about that. Now, the next part of the exercise. Now, this one was very difficult for me because I tend to not. I don't take a victim stance. Now, we all have our down days. We all have days when we feel like, why me? What is going on? This sucks. We all have that. But me, myself, I made up my mind a long time ago because I have been very depressed in my life in certain spells. But that's when I decided to say, not again. I will never let depression or victimhood drag me down to a point where I can't function, where I can't do what I need to do. I will say, okay, Toni, I'm going to give you a day to cry, to get it out, to feel sorry for yourself, have a pity party, and then after that, I'm done with that. I pick myself up, dust myself off, and I keep going. And I think that's why I have been as successful in a lot of ways as I have, because I stopped being in that ditch. Because once you get in one, it's very, very difficult to get out. But I'm going to go over this exercise and see. Now, it was asking, how can you clearly see how the choices you made and reactions to a situation helped or hindered your self-esteem? Okay, do you generally react? And as I just told y'all, I don't. So let me see if I can think of a negative victim, like let's see, thing. Okay, I can think of a horrible experience I had in college where it's a racist incident where some boys, my friend and I had caught the bus to go eat at a different restaurant. You know, we were tired of the dorm food. We say, yeah, let's get out. So we go to this part of the town, catching the bus, coming back, a truck full of white boys roll up on us. Okay, and nigger bitch, you know, blah 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 blah, we should take you with us, and blah blah blah. My friend was petrified. I mean, she was visibly shaking. Now I was scared too, but y'all already know me, warrior queen here. And I looked at them like, what, try it. Okay, and they kind of look like, what? You know me, y'all. I'm going down. I'm fighting to the end. So when I look at it spiritually, I was like, ancestors, come on. You got to help me here. I am not going to be a victim to these racist assholes here. Okay? Mentally, I knew it was more them than us. Okay? But I felt like I will fight to the end. Okay, and I said that to one of them. We should take your black asses. I said, and motherfucker, you will die too. So whatever y'all do, one of y'all leaving with me. Okay, y'all already know me. Okay, after that, emotionally, of course, I was petrified. I was scared too, but a part of me always steps up and deals with the situation. And emotionally, I didn't have time to be scared. I felt like I'm ready to fight. And that rolls right into the physical. I was ready to go down fighting. Okay, no, I'm not going to go down like this. And I think I looked at them and looked like I was going to fight so bad. They were like, let's get out of here, you know, and then they left. And my friend was so relieved, she didn't know what to do. But see, that's me, and I felt that too. But I know me, I always keep that armor up. And that's something we're going to eventually talk about too. But that is just how I am wired to do things. Now, everybody's not like that. Some people are afraid. They can't deal. They go through things, but that's why I want you all to understand the four energies that we just not talking about. Now, even though that was a negative thing, I still relied on those four energies to push me forward. So basically, I still had high self-esteem, regardless of being afraid or regardless of having to go through that. The fact that I made the choice and the decision to have high self-esteem to deal with the situation at hand. Okay? And that is what we have to do. You have to see how those decisions that you make dealing with those four energies are going to promote whatever self-esteem you're feeling at the time. So if maybe let's just take that same situation, and maybe I was afraid, and I like my friend, where I could not. I made the decision that I couldn't deal with this. This is not something I can handle. So therefore, my self-esteem would have been lower, and therefore I might have been attacked or whatever, because people read you. That's the thing. People can read whether you have high self-esteem or not. And that will then also be how they treat you. So it's like your self-belief goes out into the world, and then whatever they see, they bring it back and put it back on you. And if you have low self-esteem, you're going to deal with it and just take whatever people may show back to you. And see, it's just not me. Oh my God. I personally cannot deal with that. Okay, because I'm going to be in control of my situation no matter what. Okay, but that's the self-esteem I have built up over the years. I've had my times in my day when I may not have had as high of a self-esteem, and maybe put up with some things from family, from friends, or whatever. But at a point, you get to a point, those four energies are going to be blasting off positive, high self-esteem, and you're not going to do it. You're going to be able to set boundaries. You're going to be able to deal with difficult people without taking it personal. Let's see. How can you clearly see how the choices you make and the reactions to a situation helped or hindered your self-esteem? And that's what I want y'all to see. Which energies tends to be most out of balance? Which one of your energies can be most out of balance? I think, which one is most out of balance for me? Sometimes the emotional can be out of balance for me. I have to reel myself back in, because you feel certain ways about certain things, but like I said, I'm very logical. So my mental is real strong within my self-esteem. I figure things out. It is what it is. I'm a realist. Get to the point. Okay, so that, but then that is out of balance, in the sense that if you don't have balance between all four, then if I'm more mental and more physical, then sometimes that can throw off your emotions and your spirituality. Okay, because you can lose some capacity to have compassion, or ability to love, or whatever. Because I learned a long time ago, I cut all that off. I think I've shared with you all many times that I was raped when I was 6 years old. So at that time, I learned to pull all that apart. I put emotions back here. Okay, and I deal with the here and now, with the mental, with the whatever. So sometimes I have to work on bringing those two back together. Okay, because it's easy for me to get a wall, and I don't have time for the emotion. I'm straight, no chaser. Okay, and you all know that pretty much by what you see me talk about. So those are the things that you really have to deal with and understand within yourself when you're trying to build your self-esteem, when you're trying to get in touch with yourself, because you can't run away from yourself. Many times we try to. We shop, we eat, we have sex, we smoke, we get a blunt, it's all kind of things that we do sometimes to run away from yourself. You notice how sometimes I used to couldn't have complete silence. That would drive me insane. I had to have TV on, or I had to have some music playing, or listen to a radio, blah, blah, blah. I had to have some kind of other external stimuli rather than be totally silent. And that is something I also had to work on. I started to meditate. I started learning. I could light a candle, get quiet, breathe, listen to myself, and let a lot of that noise in my head slow down. And that may be something you need to do. A lot of times you keep all this stuff going so you don't hear yourself. You don't listen. But when you get quiet, when you get at a point where it's just silence, you can hear some things. Your mind, your spirit, all of that can tell you some things that you may need to deal with. Is it fear? It could be just pain. It could be a lot of things, and it's okay. It's okay to feel all that. It's okay to be so-called weak. It's okay. But that's why you have to look at those feelings, look at yourself, see how those feelings have influenced how you behave or how you react to things in order to reel it in and take care of it and get control of it. Because see, all four of those energies should be balanced. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They all should be in balance when you get through talking. So they help you to make decisions and reactions that are healthy. Now, I'm doing another series on intergenerational trauma. You all may want to go see, and I'll put a link in this description. But that's just it. We have a lot of trauma that has been passed down through the generations. And it's the reasons why sometimes we react really horribly or over the top when it shouldn't even been that serious, due to a lot of the intergenerational trauma that we have. We also, our self-esteem, we have been under attack, and especially black women, for so long. You're ugly, you ain't about nothing, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're this, you a hoe, you a, everything. By society and sometimes by our own men as well. So if your daddy talk crazy to you, if the men in your life have been that way 9 times out of 10, it was something that happened to you as a child that caused you to have low self-esteem and then made you become a victim of these assholes. Okay? And that's just the bottom line. So I thank you guys for coming by. I hope this has helped a little bit. So go to my website, ToniYOdom.com, and go to the Get Snatched page, and you will find all the DivaTude exercises we've done so far. So far, this is number 3. Next time, we need to look at the next DivaTude exercise. Number 4 is going to deal with writing positive affirmations for yourself. You would be surprised how powerful saying and thinking positive affirmations can be on helping you to build your self-esteem, helping you to love yourself, because that's the bottom line. You've got to love yourself first before you can love anybody else. And there is something about that that's beautiful. It's just like when you fall in love for the first time. That feeling you get when you love yourself, when you can look in the mirror. Honey, I used to have it where I hated looking in the mirror. I didn't never want to see myself. It just drove me insane. Okay, I didn't want to do it. But that's because I didn't want to deal with me. So when you get to that point where you can do that, you loving yourself, you like, excuse me, the diva's here. Okay, there is something about some self-love, hunty, that nobody can take from you, and I don't mean in a vain, crazy kind of way where you think you're better than somebody. I'm talking about just loving you regardless, just for who you are. You're not better than nobody else. You're not lower than nobody else. You are just you, and you love who that is. That is the key that we want to get to, and that's the great feeling. Like they say, the greatest love of all, okay, is to love yourself. So I will see y'all next time. Once again, go to the website ToniYOdom.com. Go to Get Snatched, and you will see the DivaTude exercises. And I want you guys to look at exercise 4 and fill that out and get ready for our next session. Okay? Thank you and have a great week.